Every year, millions of people buy FIFA to play a game mode called Ultimate Team. And every year, people spend thousands of dollars for the small chance of winning a rare player card that could help them compete in that game mode. But now, people are accusing EA employees of selling those same rare player cards on a black market. And allegedly, this has been happening for years. It's all being referred to as EAGate. You know how this works by now. Scroll down and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell so you never miss new content ever again. Alright, EA is back in the news because its billion-dollar FIFA franchise continues to be a broken and controversial mess. This time, people on social media are accusing EA employees of selling extremely rare player packs for its Ultimate Team game mode on a secretive black market, completely cutting out millions of other players in the process. Now, at this point, you're probably asking yourself, what are player packs? What the f*** is Ultimate Team game mode? And why is all of this a big deal? So, let me explain. Back in 2009, EA introduced Ultimate Team mode to FIFA. Think of it as a souped-up online version of the franchise mode you're used to seeing in sports games. You draft a team of players and then take that team through a season, at the end of which, hopefully, you're lifting some stupid trophy. Since its introduction to FIFA, all of EA's other sports franchises like NHL and Madden have implemented this system, and all three titles have an esports scene built around it.
This is the biggest one. This is what everyone wants to see. This is where everyone's going to be looking at who is the kind of greatest FIFA player at the current moment. These are the two best Xbox players in recent times.
The two big things that separate Ultimate Team from franchise mode is the fact that you compete against other people online, and that in order to stand a chance of winning, you should probably buy these things called player packs. What most people do is spend real money on FIFA's fake currency, which you then spend on player packs. And these packs give you a small chance to win an incredibly rare player that could then give you a huge advantage on the field. You could technically grind your way through thousands of hours of games to get those same players, but ain't nobody got time for that. Now, there is a tier system with these player packs, and at the very rare end, you have things called Icon Moments and Team of the Year packs, which include the very best players who are worth the most money. To put all of this into context, this player pack, Icon Moment, Ultimate Team mode system is extremely popular. People spend thousands of dollars a year constantly buying and compulsively opening these player packs, all of which makes EA billions of dollars. So imagine spending all that time and money for a chance to snag a player that could help you win more games, just to find out that an EA employee is allegedly selling them in secret to players in the know. You'd be pretty fucking pissed, as were the hundreds of people talking about this on Twitter. There were multiple people showing screenshots of what they said is an EA employee telling people how the process worked, as well as the prices for Icon Moments and Team of the Year packs. And it's important to clarify that these are just allegations for the moment. EA put out a statement, which we'll get to in a second, but there's no definitive proof yet that this was an EA employee. That being said, people tweeted out video footage of the rare players being transferred to their accounts as evidence that this was happening.
Can I buy a Prime Icon Moment from you? Send 1,700 euros and I will. Payment sent. Check your account.
So I've just logged onto my account, and there it is! Crespo, cheers EA, I appreciate it guys, first owner, we love to see it.
One of the people talking about this early on and sharing all of the information that he had was FIFA YouTuber Nick28T. He threw out a bunch of different theories, including one where rogue EA employees were actually scamming the company themselves. Here he is talking about it on his channel.
Apparently, it's basically these EA employees that are scamming EA, pretending like people's accounts are professional player accounts. They take the 1,700 euros or the $1,000 or the $3,000, and then they basically get all the information and get an EA bot to send these players into people's accounts.
So what he's saying there is that he thinks EA employees are going to EA and are saying, hey, We're talking to a big-time content creator or pro player. Can we send them over a bunch of rare cards? And if Nick's theory is true, those EA employees are lying, because what they're doing is taking those rare cards and selling them to Joe Schmo on Twitter. This caused such a stir on social media that the typically oblivious EA took notice, eventually releasing a statement that said they were looking into the situation. Quote, "We are aware of the allegations currently circulating within our community related to FIFA 21 Ultimate Team items. A thorough investigation is underway, and if we identify improper conduct, we will take swift action. We want to be clear. This type of behavior is unacceptable, and we in no way condone what is alleged to have happened here. We understand how this creates concern about unfair balance in the game and competition. We will update the community as we get more clarity on the situation." End quote. For what it's worth, I reached out to EA for comment and never heard back. Now, let me emphasize something here. You can't just buy these player packs with real money. That's a huge no-no that EA is very clear about, since it would essentially invalidate the currency system EA has created and implement an even more egregious pay-to-win system. This problem threatens the very foundation of one of EA's cash cows. Like, if this black market selling is actually happening, there goes the competitive integrity of FIFA's most competitive game mode. And honestly, why would anyone want to go back to using EA's already broken system? I get it, man. People found a loophole in a system that allows them to remove the element of chance and guarantees them what they want. I can't blame them for doing it, even if it's wrong. And let's not get it twisted. FIFA's Ultimate Team mode is a pay-to-win system disguised as a loot box mechanic. And that loot box mechanic, funnily enough, has landed EA in hot legal water over the last few years. Similar to the gambling accusations that have been leveled at case openings in CSGO, which, if you're a fan of Counter-Strike, you'll know all about, EA and FIFA's player packs have faced their own gambling reckoning. More specifically, the company is currently facing 3 class action lawsuits, which all allege that the game's player pack system is nothing more than a loot box gambling mechanic. And because FIFA's loot boxes are more than just cosmetic skins like in CSGO, because they fundamentally change your odds of winning, all 3 lawsuits allege that they keep the player base engaged for longer while encouraging addictive and potentially negative gambling habits. A Netherlands district court even sided against EA, stating that the company's loot box mechanics violated the country's Gambling and Betting Act. The court then stated that if EA didn't remove its loot boxes from its games within an 8-week window, they would be fined 10 million euros. EA ignored this ruling, by the way. What's 10 mil to a $37 billion company? We reported on this entire situation back in January. They're battling 3 class action lawsuits in court. At the heart of the complaints in the lawsuits are loot boxes and a concept called dynamic difficulty adjustment. Here's where I'm at with all of this. If EA employees were actually selling ultra rare cards on a black market system that they themselves created, that's f***ed up and should be dealt with accordingly. But at the same time, I see this as an opportunity to take a look at Ultimate Team and for EA to hopefully make changes for the better. Like, it's absolutely insane to me that in order to enjoy the main game mode, the reason why most people play FIFA, you potentially have to drop hundreds of dollars extra. I wonder if there's a world where Ultimate Team exists, but it didn't feel so predatory to the same people who support it year after year. Look, I get it. The changes that I'm talking about means that EA probably makes less money, which will never happen. They don't give a f*** about your spending habits as long as it's all above board and legal. And when the opposite happens, as we've seen here, when things get a little murky legally and the ultimate golden goose is threatened, EA is quick to right the ship and figure out what happened. Hopefully when they do, so will we. When things get a little murky legally, when the ultimate golden team I can't speak f***ing words today. Quote, 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 moo, quote, moo, quote, quote. That should work for you, Colten. Moo.